and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hey, folks, it's Friday night, but it's a holiday Friday night. In fact, it is, as you can tell, it's casual Friday here at the grand jury tonight. We've given our jury off for a long weekend for the 4th of July holiday, our nation's 250th birthday. A big deal, big deal. So we thought we'd come in the studio tonight and play maybe 5 of our favorite or maybe most memorable is a better way to explain it. But out of the 51 episodes that we've done, we've had some great jurors. We've had some great videos, but mainly our jurors. I think that going back and looking at this, I think we can agree that the real star of this show is our jurors. The way that they not only volunteer their time, which we're very grateful for, but it's also the effort they put into it and the way they look and pick these things apart. We think that that's a remarkable portion of the show, and we're going to examine some cases tonight that we remembered. But I want to say, let's go around the room, guys. You guys introduce yourself. Big Ron, how are you? And this weekend, what do you think about the 51 episodes of the grand jury?
Well, good evening, all. You know, Joe, it's great. 250 years. I can't say enough about it. Like yourself and some other people, I'd like to thank everybody before us that has served and brought this country to its 250th year. And I'd like to thank all of our brothers and sisters that are still serving today now that you and I are retired, and to another 250 great years of this great country. Everybody, I hope you enjoy the show. And like I always say, the bourbon's cold and the cigar's lit. Let's tear it up, Joe.
Yep, even Joe might drink a little bit tonight for tonight's show. But Bruce Wayne, you're out from underneath the stairs. We normally keep you out of sight and out of mind and keeping you like washing dishes, heavy pots and pans in particular. But when you're on the stage tonight, how does that feel? Yeah, you excited to do this?
Well, Joe, I'm still washing dishes and pots and pans right now, but I am honored to be able to speak.
Well, now we talked about that earlier. Make sure you keep your mic muted while the water's running. It's distracting for grown folk in the room.
No, I'm excited for the show. It's going to be a great one, and should be a great way to kick off the 4th. Let's go.
You know, if anything else, we'll have fun doing this show. I think it'll be interesting to go through the selections that we've gone through, we've picked, and just give some feedback on it and reflect back on what we've done and how we've gotten here. I'll tell you one thing before we get to Jason. One thing I noticed in putting this together, I went back to the very first episodes, and our production quality has dramatically increased. We'll see some of that tonight on how we started and where we're at now. But Jason, our longest running expert witness in grand jury history, how is your 4th of July weekend shaking out?
It's the first time in 31 years where I have not had a plan for the city celebration. So I don't have to deal with the drunks. I don't have to deal with the morons. It's literally the first time in 3 decades that I get to enjoy what it's like to celebrate the 4th as a person.
You know, a lot of folks, unless you work in law enforcement or first responder, that the days are big holidays for other people are days that are really busy for you, in particular if they're public holidays where people are going to be out like the 4th of July. A lot of people don't think about that. But at the same time, you still have a lot of fun. Being a cop is not the job that I kind of wince when people say, I don't know how police officers do it. It's actually a pretty good job. It's demanding. You got to stay straight and you remember that you serve with the confidence of both the people and your police chief or your sheriff. So you got to maintain that confidence. But other than that, it's not a bad job. You get to do things there that you don't do anywhere else.
It's not. And when I started, the lieutenant came up to me and said, you just got a front row seat ticket to the greatest show in the world.
And it's not for everyone. There are people that can't do it, but those that do, I don't feel sorry for them. You know, remember it, soak it up, and enjoy it. It won't last forever, but you'll do things in law enforcement that you can't do anywhere else. Otherwise, it might put you behind bars. But with that, What you guys heard me say, I think that the jurors are the most interesting and the talent that we have on the show. Do you guys agree with that, or do you see it a different way? Because you guys really sit back. I'm talking. You guys are really sitting back watching and listening to the jury. What's your opinion on that and what we've done in 51 episodes with the jurors? Or do you have a jury that sticks out in your mind? I do.
I think the jurors are definitely what make the show, because we come on here every week. We've got this rehearsed. We know what we're doing. We've got the videos pulled. But it's everybody out there that volunteers to come on the show. It's the people in the chats that make this show what it is. We've had some great juries on here. We've had some that they've come on in the pre-shows have told us one thing, and they've sat down and like, okay, yeah. We've had so many jurors that were anti one thing, and when all the evidence is laid out, they go the exact opposite direction. It's great to watch some of these jurors come in and just watch their whole frame of mind switch over. It's phenomenal. With that being said, though, we've had some that were pretty cut and dry. We're like, yeah, this is how this is going to go, and the jurors have gone the exact opposite direction with it. And you're like, why? So yeah, the jurors are what do it. I think that's what makes the show.
Jason, what do you think? Sometimes I sense some frustration on your side when it comes to our jurors.
The frustration is more the mindset of the jury. You could, week from week, the jury changes, but we still get the same mindset every week. And that's more of, I think, it's not a frustration. It's more of everybody's an expert on what police do, and they're passionate about it. And I agree with Ron, where you can literally watch them go, I didn't think of that. But without the show, you would have never thought of that. So that's the important part of the show is, and like when we first started, we created this little tunnel where everybody knew the answer already, because that it was just a small group. And then we bring.
But now you're talking about, for those that don't know, there were two versions of this show. The first time we did it, Jason and I were in the space, and I don't remember what the discussion was, but it was something about just cops killing people left and right. I'm like, I don't think it's like that. So we convened a panel of law enforcement officers, myself, Jason, John Cox from North Carolina was commonly there, and maybe a couple of others would come and go each week. We had literal attorneys, or people who had jurisprudence degrees and some law degrees. Maybe they're not a practicing attorney, but they were legal minds is what we called them. And then we had citizens, folks like Ron, and people that weren't associated to the legal field, whether it be law enforcement or practicing attorney. And we started out, I think we did 9 videos, right? We would go for 3 hours. And these, I think, are still on YouTube. If you want to go deep, you're going to have to go deep. But I think they're still on YouTube. But we took and did 9 videos, and we had a panel that would decide. And in the beginning, we did have some knockdown dragouts. We had debates going back and forth. In fact, it was great fun. Wouldn't you agree, Jason? And that's what you're talking about. That's the original version of the grand jury. We didn't have brand new people each week. We had the same people on every week.
I would agree. And after about, I don't know, 16, 18 months, all of a sudden they all started agreeing with us all the time. Like they learned, you got people that have no clue talking about tasers being ineffective and use of force continuums and like, holy shit.
21-foot rule. They were starting to learn. And folks, Jason said to me, because we both were talking, it's like it was fun doing this in the beginning, but it's kind of lost its spark. Jason's like, it sounded like McGruff, of course. He says, we need some fresh blood. And we talked about it a little bit longer. So what have we got volunteers, like new people every week? And it's like, sounds great. And I thought that would be the easiest part of the show. Finding, who doesn't want to come on and give their opinions, right? We're all like in X spaces all the time. And it's full of people who are just dying to take a mic and give their opinion. So we started that. We said we're going to get 5 brand new jurors each week, and we've done that for 51 times. This is 52, but we don't have juries on this one. But we've done it 51 times, bringing jurors together. We do it once a week, and the most difficult part about it is, folks, finding jurors. If you're watching out there, if you want to be on this, or if you're just willing to be on this, get my attention. Drop it in the comments. Anything, just quote the grand jury at Joe Lanou on any platform, you'll get my attention and I'll rope you in and get you in here because we always need jurors. But Jason is the one that started that. And I think that is the most interesting aspect of our show is that we do have 5 new people each week, and we all watch them go through this transformation from the first case to the 5th case. Now, the transformation, in my opinion, is not always the same, but I see a change in the way they look at these and the way that the way they come to their decisions. It may not change their decision necessarily, but I know I can tell they're looking at it different. Wouldn't you agree, Jason?
Yeah, even some of the staunchiest jurors we've had the anti-law enforcement people in here.
Yes.
And to watch them actually start to second guess themselves by the 3rd case is interesting and entertaining to me, that you're listening, which is good.
Well, I believe it was Big Ron has suggested one that is just like that. It's I won't say that it's a standard easy use of force type of case, but it's not that difficult. But we have some good deliberations on that. Bruce, anything you want to say before we get to this first case we're going to review?
No, let's kick it off.
Let's do it. We call this a 1050. 1050 is police code for a traffic accident. So Raleigh, North Carolina, they get
black shirt, the one that was driving. Yep. Well, I can't.
They respond to a traffic accident with injuries.
Yeah, the one. Okay,
yeah, he was behind the wheel when I got here, and he like I said, he passed my company truck by about 2 inches, and the whole ass in that truck was joints right here, where he was overweight coming through here, carrying all this granite and marble and stuff.
Can you get their information as witnesses to part of this?
Okay.
And we'll have to figure out what we're going to do about going 1055, figuring that part out.
Oh yeah.
Am I going to get stuck with the 55? I don't know. Is Pena here? Let me call her.
Just a little bit of information. 1055 is a intoxicated driver. So the 2 officers talking in 10 codes, they're going to do the driver of this overturned vehicle for a DWI. And that's why the guy said, do I have to take the DWI? It's a lot of paperwork. But either way, that's what they were just discussing.
Hey, are you free? I'm sorry, I could say it one more time. If it's something, I mean, it's not an in progress thing, it's a prior. Yeah, if it's something that either you can just throw back in pending or whatever, will you swing over here to this wreck on the belt line? Just come over here for now. We may need some translation help, but it's also probably going to be some 1055 stuff. All right. Thanks.
What is this? Hey, y'all get this side. Put the knife down now. Put the knife down.
Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Hey! 310 Raleigh, hold the channel. Drop it! Drop it! Señor! Drop it! Get it! Hold it! Watch it!
Hey, hey!
Drop! Hey, is everybody good? Hold the channel. Drop it! Back up! Hey! Hey! Move! Move! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! I got him. I got him. Smith. Smith. Drop it! Drop it! Drop it! Drop it!
Señor, ¿a poco no me van a seguir? Smith, come on up.
Hold it! Watch it!
315, really. Shots fired. Shots fired. Officers at 10-4, subject's down. He's still got the knife. I've got it. Go. Step aside. I got him. I got him. Step back! Cigarettes.
Drop the knife!
Take Smith aside. I've got
Drop
him.
the knife.
Get Smith aside.
I got him. I got him.
Nice, clear. Clear.
I got you right here.
I think it was a back left. Nice, clear.
That's the thing that I gotta do.
No. I'm good. Okay. I'm good. He swung it, but I'm good. All right. Roll him towards. Go this way. Get this off too. I don't know if he's getting this here.
This guy's got a knife.
Yeah, he's going.
Drop it!
¿A poco no me van a seguir?
¡Dame eso!
Get it! Hold it! Watch it!
Hey, hey! Shut!
Put the knife down! Throw the knife down! Back off!
Angela. Okay, before we get into the we hear what the jury said there. You guys remember this video, right?
Yeah, definitely remember this video, and I'm watching the chat, and a lot of people remember this video too.
Say again. Yeah, I was looking at the post. I'm sorry, I was looking at the post too. I see a lot of other people remember this video. But what do you guys think? Do you see any, Jason? You see any hanging points in there that would really hang up a jury? I mean, when you look at lawful use of force, how would you say this case is just on the face?
It's you always say reasonable person. I don't think I'm reasonable because I don't see any hangups, but I can see where a jury would see hangups.
Well, that's what I'm asking. Where do you think a jury would see hangups on this?
Knife versus gun. I think the use of the taser and then not understanding the whole complexity of how a taser works, and then all of a sudden they shot. That's kind of the hangups I think a jury would come across.
Do you remember how this jury went on this case? This case was a while back. Do you remember how? I didn't really remember myself. Big Ron brought it up, and I went back and reviewed it. And after I watched it, I get why he said this, but I didn't remember how the jury ruled on this one. Do you?
I do not, to be honest with you.
Okay, because we're going to hear some interesting arguments. You might have a crystal ball. Bruce Wayne, what about you? Do you remember how the jury ruled on this one?
I don't actually remember this video at all. I think this may have been one where I was gone. So it's all new to me.
Sorry.
I'm excited.
Ron, have you been approving some off time for Bruce Wayne? I hadn't seen anything come across my desk for approval.
Yeah, it must have gotten lost in the mail. I'll look for it later.
Or absence without leave. We'll talk about that later, Bruce Wayne. How could you have missed the episode? And that may be, but guys, we see a lot of videos each week, as you guys that watch know. But there's, for all those you see, we've seen a lot more just to pick the ones that we put up. But interestingly enough, let's go back and see how. Let's see what arguments they used, how they saw this. Indict. Why don't you give us your reasons why? What convinced you that this should be an indictment for unlawful use of deadly force by the officers?
If I'm going to be completely honest, when he was already taken down, I think they had more than enough hands to be able to retrieve the knife and take him. I don't think he was a real viable threat at that time, and the officer kicking him up front was malicious, in my opinion.
I'm trying to look for it. We don't have a screen slot up. We can put this up unless we go here, right? Or here. Okay, we can do that. So she didn't like the way he was kicked. She thought that was malicious. Therefore, that was enough for her. Anybody remember that part of it?
I do, and I think what people are thinking is it was a kick. I don't think it was kick as much as it was they were trying to step on the knife.
If he's got a knife, you don't think kicking him's okay?
Oh, I 100% do. Whatever you've got to do to get the knife waiver, keep the suspect on the ground. I mean, it's either your life or his life, and I'm going home at night. Plain and simple.
No, you guys are going to know where I'm going with this. Goes back to what we could call lawful but awful. The kick looked so bad to her. The kick was the problem. The tasing wasn't a problem, and the shooting might have been okay if you didn't kick him. So this is how we started the deliberations. I've got them cut up. We won't have to listen to all of them, but listen to the different arguments.
I'm going to go Bill on this one. Yeah, because of that one thing there, the fact that he kicked him to the gut like that. He wasn't kicking his arm. He's kicking him in the gut. So I would say just because of that this would have to go further.
They didn't de-escalate. There was no.
I don't think that they had the right to use lethal force. They had already expelled. They had already put him down to the ground. He had already been pretty much immobilized at that point.
Once he got to the ground, he was no longer a threat. He couldn't got back up.
No, because he did get up, and that's when he swung. So you know what? I'm switching to no, Bill, because he did swing at the officer, and that's when the
reason. Say that it looked like that is because they
kicked him.
Didn't they tase him? They tased him, kicked him. Like how else is his body gonna respond to being kicked and tased? He ain't gonna have. Yeah, come on, man. It's freaking.
So this guy wasn't responsible for his actions.
I do believe he's responsible for his actions, but I don't think that it could have been. I think it could have been handled better, in my opinion.
They could have de-escalated the situation. This is just like I said. This is one of those situations where in some cases it's like this type of force is okay, but in some cases it's not okay.
Angela, what's your vote?
I choose to indict.
Drip.
Indict.
2 for indictment. Tommy, I hadn't heard anything from you, I don't think.
No, Bill. and you swing that knife at a cop, you're putting your life in their hands. So yeah, and then after he even was shot, he jumped back up again. So he was juiced, man. It was legit. They took out the threat.
So that's a no bill for Tommy. Clark, you've been back and forth. Which way are you going to land?
You know what? Yeah, the kick might not be procedural, but at the same time, they're trying to get him any way they can. So you can't. I don't think you can say Bill because of that. I think it's no Bill because once you swing, like that's why I was no Bill first because he swung at him. Had he not have swung, and not only that, he was leaving the scene. He was leaving the scene, which is why they were stopping him to begin with. And he had a knife in his hand, and then he got up and swung at him. It doesn't, because here's the thing: it doesn't matter if a cop kicks you. You can't swing a knife at him. You can't do that. So I think they did what they had to do. No Bill.
Okay, 2-0 Bill. We're tied up. Mayhem, you're the tiebreaker. What's your vote?
Based on,
I don't know where you land on this.
oh, well, I can tell you right now, based upon the video, the man had a knife. I think this would be a good chance for you to explain the 21-foot rule after this. But he had a knife. They did tase him. All officers did surround him. They tried to do their best to subdue him the best way they can, but going at that man while he has a knife considers him a major threat, and they shot him, which he still had his hands on the knife. So I am going with no Bill.
Okay, as it stands, 3-2 for a no bill. I'm gonna go back to Angela or Drip. Did anything that Tommy, Clark, or Mayhem, any points they brought up, did it sway your decision? Or are you still firm in your vote?
I'm still firm in my decision, but I still respect theirs.
I know it's good enough. Drip, same.
I don't know if I respect their decision or not, and I'm still firm in it.
Very good. That sounds like a no bill, Big Ron.
Yep, that was a no bill, Big Ron. I agree.
So, and we saw that there. Excuse me. We saw the arguments that Jason just talked about employed there. I call it lawful but awful. It's lawful, but it doesn't look pretty. And for some people, man, they can't get past the emotions to ever apply it. But we also saw someone go do 100 about face right in the middle of it. I mean, as they're thinking, you know what, now that I think about it, I'm going to change my mind. Any comments about that? What do you guys think about that? We've seen this many times, right?
I'll tell you what, Joe. Look at the comments where there are people discussing it right now in the comments of they could have kicked the knife away. So it's drudging it back up. It's great. I love this show just for that reason right there. Doesn't matter how old the episode is.
Right. Well, that's true. Kicking the knife away is that's good in movies maybe, but what if I don't get that knife out of his hand and gets stuck in my calf? I'm not really cool with that. What do you think, Jason? Kicking the knife out, you John Wayne it out there with some dude with a knife?
No, and no offense to Grandma Kate, but that's what I like this show is that mindsets are, why didn't they do this? Well, they didn't do it because they could die doing that. And then that's where the 21-foot rule comes in. That's where there's case law for it. It's in that case, I put your taser away for Christ's sakes. You know, your lethal force justified.
No, I know, I agree. But they tased him. He goes to the ground. I think it happened very quickly, unless you watch the video close. When the guy goes to the ground, as the officer's going in to put him in a handcuffed position, that he begins to swing at the officer with the knife. The officer gets back. That's when the first round of shots go off. Then he gets up, swinging the knife again. The swinging hand's got a knife in it, and that's when he shot on the second iteration. So, yeah, I think it's clearly lawful. And you don't look at it, you shouldn't go in as a juror. You guys have heard me say this before. You can't go in there saying, this is what I should do, or I'm here to determine what that officer should have done. You're only there to answer a simple question. Is it reasonable that the officer had a fear for themselves or a fear for another person? If the answer is yes, anything that happens beyond that yes, in my mind, that's reasonable to believe that I believe this, any actions I take after that to preserve my life or protect another lawful. And we get this confused when we start looking at police use of force situations, in my opinion. But I believe that we drive that home and stay pretty true to it here on the grand jury. That really is the only question we're asking a jury. Is it reasonable that the officer had a fear? And I think in this case, sure. Now you say, well, you could have done this and you could have done that, but we all know that there's literally a Supreme Court case out there, and rightfully so, that says that you have to look at these without the benefit of hindsight and with some deference given to a quickly evolving situation. But we beat that down every week. I don't want to beat it down this week. And folks, we're not going to talk about the 21-foot rule again. We've got Jason's got a special case tonight that's going to illustrate the 21-foot rule and why it exists and why you really can't deny that it's absolutely possible. We've had a case in the grand jury that I think is one of the best illustrations of the 21-foot rule out there. But anybody want to say any more about this jury and the way they got to their decisions?
I would. I would like to say that I think a lot of the jurors, they look at it from what would happen if a civilian did it. They don't look at it like the cop has a job to do. This is what they're allowed to do. They don't look at the rules of, is he in fear for his life? They look at it from, if there's a man laying on the ground, a civilian goes up and kicks him, the guy jumps up and swings a knife. Like they look at it like if a civilian goes and aggravates it, they don't look at it like the cop has the lawful ability to use whatever force is necessary to neutralize the threat. I think that's where a lot of it comes down. And they're like, well, if I did this, and I think that's where they're off.
No, I agree. I think they approach it to say, I've got to figure out what the right action would have been and then see if that cop did it. But that's not what the law is asking you. They're asking you, is it reasonable? Is it reasonable that one thought his life was in danger? And if it is, then even after the fact you find out it wasn't, his actions were okay. Hey, guys, check out the comment. Jason, check out the comment from Chris. It says, is knockout gas flammable? That plus a taser might work. Now, folks,
I think he's referring to another case.
Well, that's an testament to how long Chris has been watching the grand jury. Because and believe it or not, Chris, we are going to visit the sleeping gas case tonight.
Well, and Chris, to answer your question, knockout gas is not flammable. Sleeping gas is.
And before you move on, Joe, the one jury said they should have de-escalated that situation. That's another topic that comes up every week. They should have de-escalated.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up, because while it was going on, I said, yeah, we need to talk about de-escalation, because that comes up now as some sort of a standard that officers are required to do, and you must show some measures of de-escalation. But now, I will say this, Jason, you give out mixed signals on this. And I know why you do it, but I think to the general people that are just listening, I think you confuse them. Because I'll say that de-escalation is not a requirement for use deadly force. It's just not, did you de-escalate? It's not a thing. But should you do it? Every good police officer does this, and every police officer should do this. But there are times, in my opinion, where de-escalation is not the time for it. But sometimes, man, I'll come to you on the de-escalation. It's like, well, yeah, you should. But I think people get should and must, I think, are confusing to people. But you want to tackle that?
Yeah, I'll clear that up real quick. There's a time to do it and a time not to. And you need to be able to recognize when a time to do it is and when a time not to do it is. In this case, you're not de-escalating that guy. Other cases, yes, it's a good tool, but it's not a stamp for every single call you go to.
Right. And this one even had a language barrier. I mean, how you gonna reason with the guy in the 3.5 seconds you have to before the blade hits you in the skin?
No, you're not.
But folks, stick with us all the way through the show. There will be another case we'll show, and we'll explain. It will explain why every one of those officers that were within 10 feet of this guy with a knife very well were in danger. We will show you an illustration of that will should be no doubt at the end of that. But with that, some time ago, we had the ex-space host for the round table, Carmen Love, Sally, MJ, the ladies on. one night. And it was a great show. Kind of did a round table takeover of the grand jury. But one of the cases in there was a man with a knife, a disturbed individual who's literally was just released from a mental hospital the day prior. He's at home with his mother, and his mother's calling 911 saying she's worried about him hurting her or hurting himself. He's threatening suicide and threatening to hurt others armed with a knife. Law enforcement officers go there. They make contact with him. Subsequently, an officer-involved shooting occurs. And I shouldn't spoil it for anybody that hadn't seen it, should I? Well, you know what? Let's play Sleeping Gas. Let's play Sleeping Gas. Check this one out, folks. This is a very famous episode, very famous case.
Okay, where's he at? Where's he at? He called in suicide attempt. Does he have any weapons or anything in the house? Ma'am, does he have any weapons or anything in the house? Does he have any weapons or anything in the house?
No.
Okay. How old is he?
30.
Is he diagnosed with anything?
Have to step out, and he didn't answer. That's why he kept peeking out. I told him, what you keep peeking out the window for?
26. We made contact with the mother.
Yeah,
All right, go ahead.
He kept peeking out the window. I said, what you keep peeking out the window for? And then all of a sudden, I'm figuring out what's going on now when I seen the officers, you know?
Okay.
He's been off his medication for about a month.
Okay.
And I just took him to community health center.
Okay.
And they gave him put him back on his injection that he was on previously every other month.
What is he diagnosed with again? I'm sorry. What was it?
Schizo. You name it, schizo.
All right, have him come out here. You want to talk to him?
He won't come out.
All right, so. Hey, come out. We need to talk to you. Sheriff's office. What's that? You have a knife? Does he have a knife in there? Let's just get out of that house then, while we're here. You got to get out too. He's got a knife, so. Hey, Ted, when you step out here, show your hands. Show your hands. Show your hands. Show your hands. If you got a knife, drop it. Drop it. Drop the knife. Back. Drop back. I'm telling you, man, you get drop back. Drop. Drop back, man. Drop back.
Johnny 3108, shots fired.
Shots fired. Subject down, all you.
Hey, Chaz, when you step out here, show your hands. Show your hands. Show your hands. Show your hands. If you got a knife, drop it.
Drop it.
Drop it. Drop the knife. Drop back.
Drop.
Drop back. Drop back, Chaz. I'm telling you, man. Drop back.
Chaz.
Drop back.
All right.
Drop.
Go.
Drop. Drop back, man. Drop back.
Chaz, you going to
County 3108, shots fired. We're 10-4. Subject's down.
Shots fired.
Okay, before we get to it, there's your video. And you know what? I'm not even going to talk much about it. I'm going to let you listen to the deliberations, slightly edited for time's sakes. I'm going to let you just listen to the deliberations. We'll talk about it on the backside.
I feel that the cops were, they were briefed by the mother, and he had just went to the hospital and had to get back on medication for mental illness. Just got an injection. I feel that they should have called, maybe called in some proper, backup, maybe, medical, and then tried to, address that situation that way. I don't feel that this was, I don't feel they were justified to do that, make that
Okay.
call.
So based on this, if it were me, I would have shot also. And the reason is the guy was moving to me at a fast pace. He wasn't moving slowly, and it did feel as though it was threatening. I felt like I was the police officer. I felt threatened.
I think that the police officers put themselves in a situation that they could have not done. I think they could have handled the situation from the very beginning a lot different. And then they wouldn't have been put in the position to where they were possibly standing in front of him. That was already considered. He had already went to the hospital. He'd been off his medication for months. They know he was mentally ill. He just had an injection. The mother confirmed. She took him to the hospital, got the injection. So I think that at that point, wouldn't you try to reach out to other resources to come and possibly help? I'm not saying that the cops wouldn't have had to enter the house. I just don't know if it could have. Just feel possibly, there's maybe if you're not trained in possibly with mental illness and knowing that is the situation at hand, and someone being out of their mind, then maybe you get someone that is.
We can cross train our officers, and when you cross train our officers how to respond to the mentally ill, I think it's beneficial. I think it's a catch-22. You don't know if they're mentally ill until you know they're mentally ill.
Plus,
Okay,
they went
I must
around
have
to
heard.
his window. They went around to his window and tried to have a conversation with him, and he had the knife then. And then they came back around. Not to mention, if you listen, it sounds like the mother is still inside of the house. You can hear her voice. So, I mean, at that point, he is a danger to not only himself but also his mother. So, at that point, it does pose. I understand where you're coming from. But this is where I would say I really wish we just had like sleeping gas that we could toss inside of a house in that situation, make everybody go night night, sleep tight, and then they could wake up in a mental ward. But
if you did the sleepy gas, you did that, and you put them in a mental ward, which is a hold of 72 hours, and they're not mentally ill, and it was some prank call from their house, like that like, well, you can't do that. You have to go, you have to observe.
But the 72 hours is for observance, right? That is actually for the observance, and then the doctors decide whether to keep you or not.
You missed what I said. If someone else had been in their home, or it was like what they do with doxing and pretended to be that person, say, "Oh, I'm going to kill myself and kill my family."
But that situation is not this one. We're talking about this situation, not some other
yeah,
situation.
he came out with the knife, Sally, from his bedroom. I mean, he wasn't even in the kitchen.
I'm only replying to what Reaper said. I wish that we could put gas in their homes, or we could do this, or we could do that. You can't do that because you never know how the call originated. You don't want to put someone on
No, I think you're missing. Hold on. You're missing what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he emerged out of his bedroom with a knife. Okay, therefore he had that in his bedroom. He also had it while they were talking to him through the glass before they even entered the home. Therefore, he's already a danger. What I was saying is, in a situation like that, where you already know that there's a threat like that, it would be nice if we could have sleeping gas to just toss in the house and night sleep tight. But unfortunately, we don't have that. That's not the situation.
Absolutely untrue. I've had the cops caught on me
I
by
didn't, I'm
someone
not
else.
coming at the cops
I
with a
never
knife,
finished.
though,
I
Sally.
never
Okay,
finished
ladies,
what I was.
focus a minute
I
and 20
never
seconds.
finished.
Okay, I think that at the end of the day, the cops had the right to defend themselves,
Yep,
so
me
they felt
too.
threatened, and I do feel that it's a no bill. It would be justified for me. I don't know about. Would you say Reaper?
So what? Yeah, what's the count? I got Carmen
Yeah,
as a
they're
Justified or
justified.
not justified? Okay, Sally.
Justified.
I would say no bill.
and MV.
MV. She said justified earlier.
Yes,
It's a no
justified.
bill.
Very good.
Justified. Mhm.
Very good. Very good. Good no bill. Thank you, Big Ron. Okay. That's the famous sleeping gas episode. Did you guys remember it that way, or did that refresh your memory?
I remember there being arguments, but I don't remember it being like that. That was awesome. That was great. Reminds me of a Looney Tunes. Actually, better than that. If anybody's ever seen the movie Real Genius, where they stick the tube underneath the guy's door and put him to sleep, and then they disassemble his car and put his car in his bedroom. That's exactly what it is.
That's what the officers needed. And folks, that just a little history on that. That conversation carried over into the after party, and God love, I love Carmen Love. She stood on it 10 toes down in there, still defending. They should invent it. The cops need to go to jail until they have this sleeping gas. And then it was about a week later, I was still kind of giving her a hard time about it. And she said, "You know what, Joe? I woke up the next day and got to thinking, what the hell was I thinking about?" She laughs about it now, about the sleeping gas. But you know what? It wasn't the sleeping gas, right, Jason? They came up with almost everything through there. Cops need more training. They need mental health resources out there. They came up with almost everything except for use deadly force. Do you agree with that, or did you catch on to that?
Yeah, no, I remember that specifically, listening to them debate, and I was laughing. I was in my desk laughing. I so wanted to get on the microphone and go, "What in the blue hell are you guys talking about?" That was one of the funnier things that I've watched. But they were serious. I mean, they were all in on this. They got emotionally attached to it, and that was a good one. That was a fun show.
You know what? That was a fun show. Those ladies were great. They gave that energy through every one of the cases, but that one absolutely took a life of its own. And it goes back again, what I said earlier. It's just another example of the lawful but awful. Some people have such big hearts. They care so much that when something is awful, they just can't get past it. And it's understandable. And we need people like that in this world for sure. But on the legal side of it, it's not really a fair way to judge because you're never going to make your heart feel better, I think. Now, I asked this week from the night crew here, give me their most memorable cases. And Bruce Wayne, which one did you pick? The Rock, right?
One with there was a Hispanic gentleman with a rock.
What was the controversy in that, or what made that stick out in your mind as one that you'd want to review tonight?
Well, I did like the back and forth of the people debating it, but really what made it stick out was Moon. Moon was very vehemently against the rock being a deadly weapon. And but I did think it sparked some good conversation.
Oh, is that me, or would we lose Bruce?
I cut out there. I'm having some problems here, but no, I think it brought up some good points, and I enjoyed the debate, hearing them talk about if a rock actually is a deadly weapon. So
it sparked a debate whether a rock is a deadly weapon. But you guys take a look at it and tell us what you think. Try that again.
What's the address of your emergency?
We have a friend here. He just got attacked in the middle of the street.
He just got what in the street?
Hang out with these two. Our other guys are just walking off right now.
¿Habla inglés?
No, habla español, pero only come for help. Es que my friend pum, se cayó y lo queremos llevar a una clínica.
Siéntate.
What happened with that? You speak Spanish? No, okay. You speak in English.
Es que lo queremos llevar a la clínica.
Espérate un segundo. So what happened is this gentleman got attacked there and fell. I called the 911, but they were insistent asking, we need help, you know what I mean? So I just hung off the 911 and we came, some friends tried to help him, and we sit there. Him and somebody told us that he got attacked, and after he come back and it's normal. So and what they want is to take him to the hospital, but the guy didn't want it, but nobody tried to help. We tried to help him.
Who attacked him?
No, he got a heart attack. Like it's not heart attack. It's like a stroke. It's some kind of
okay.
It's some kind
so
of
no
attack.
one attacked
Not
him.
necessarily stroke.
No necessarily, but
if he got a stroke, he's not gonna be there like that.
Yeah.
It's not a stroke.
Which guy is it?
It's that guy that the official does.
Sure.
I just give this information. There's nothing happened about that they tried to attack him.
All right, I appreciate it. Un momento.
Take care of what's going on.
I need you to tell me what's going on.
I mean, I never done nothing to those guys.
They're saying he had a heart attack and they were trying to get medical here. He wasn't attacked. He was just collapsed.
And then as soon as I show up, he's got his hand up to these two, like he's looking to fight him.
So they wanted to take him to the hospital when he refused. So they're saying fine. You need medical, boss?
No.
Did you fall and pass out?
No, I see it's my legs is like it's kind of like how you say like
just gave out?
Yeah.
Okay, is that how you hurt your hand? Okay. So then what happened with these guys?
I never like how you say like I never had a problem with them, but then when I sucked to here, these guys they wanted to like beat me up, and I believe I don't know if I was you that you guys came, and then somebody else came and called more how you say like more police. Police.
Are you talking about in the past?
Excuse me?
Are you talking about in the past, like over at the Home Depot, McDonald's area, or today?
Today.
So these guys tried to fight you today? Okay. So witnesses are telling me that you collapsed for a medical reason and these guys were trying to help you, but you didn't want to go to the hospital. So did they try to take you to the hospital and you said no? What's going on? I need to understand. Were you attacked or was someone trying to take you to the hospital and you were just freaking out? Are you having a condition that requires medical attention? Your compliance is going to make this a lot easier. If you're not going to talk to us about it, you're just...
This every time we report somebody trying to fight us. Why are you always getting into fights out here?
The what?
Why are you always getting into fights out here?
I'm not getting
I've been out on you like 2 or 3 times of you claiming that you were assaulted by somebody. The last time you had a pretty good black eye. So what's going on? We're trying to help you, but every time we come out, you don't want to give us any information.
don't want to tell us, then we'll just leave and walk away. Un momento. I'm gonna go try to talk to these guys. You want both of these now? Yeah. Good luck. Put those back. They're not yours. Put them back.
What?
Put them back. Sit down. Sit down.
No te estoy diciendo nada.
Sit down.
No te estoy haciendo nada.
Sit down.
No te estoy haciendo nada.
Hey, boss.
No te estoy haciendo nada, compa. No te estoy haciendo nada. Cálmate, ¿ok? Cálmate. No te estoy
You want to do this over a rock?
No te estoy haciendo nada. Cálmate.
Hey, he's got a rock in his hand like a weapon.
Cálmate. Yo no
Drop the rock now. Hey, put the rock down. Hey, get out of here. Hey, you back there, clear out. Put the rock down. Put it down now.
Mira. Hey.
Un momento, gracias. Drop the rock now. Hey. 533. We got one non-compliant. He's got a rock in his hand. Drop the rock now. Hey, you back there, clear out. Put the rock down. Put it down now. Fuck it. He's fleeing south, southeast, southwest. Cross 21st. 533 shots fired. 533 shots fired. Get medical here now.
You can't forget that last little piece there of the little 250 I'm leaving in there, Ron. It's a little delay behind the normal bumper. But that's the video, folks, that the discussion about the rock came in place. And what we see there is a disturbance. Officers arrive. That you've got the landscaping stone out there. He takes that, puts a couple in his pocket, and then threatens officers with that. And it spurred a discussion as to whether or not a rock is a weapon or not. But let's listen to what, get that removed. Let's see what these cats, what they said on this. Here's the deliberations for the rock case. Are deliberating. Truth or Iron Patron can be first.
Yeah, I mean, originally I was leaning towards True Bill because the guy was clearly running away both times, but the two pauses, not once, officer had restraint at that point, in my opinion, right? The officer clearly restrained himself when the guy originally pulled his hand back to toss that rock at him, changed his mind, ran away, but then did it a second time. In between those, we switched from taser to gun. So just the review of that to me was just super. To me, it's a no bill. That's where I'm leaning.
Looking at it like this, the one officer that pulled out the taser was not required to pull out the taser because I'm pretty sure a rock is a lethal weapon, right? Yep. So he was not. He probably messed himself up by pulling out the taser instead of the gun. When that guy went to throw at them, that is literally presenting with lethal force. Yep. When he had it in his hand, it was just he was wielding it, but he wasn't wielding it at them. As soon as he presented it as lethal force and then ran away and then did it again, yeah, he was kind of asking for it. I would say no, Bill.
I was going to lean to a true bill, but after watching the guy hurl the rock after being warned multiple times, that is an officer. Rock, a stone can be a deadly weapon if it's used correctly. And in that case, he has to pull his firearm.
I was kind of leaning towards no bill actually from the beginning, because a rock that size can, I mean, just one good hit to the head and can cause bodily damage or death. And also the fact that he didn't just pick up one, he picked up one and put it in his pocket, right? He put one in his front pocket. So for him, that was ammo. And then watching the way he poised himself the first time that we paused it and the second time that we paused it, looked like he was an aggressor. He wasn't just trying to flee. I believe that the second officer pulled out his taser because he believed he was fleeing at first, but then realized he's not just fleeing, he is actually an aggressor because he is, trying to harm us with these rocks. So I'm going to go in the officer's favor and say no, Bill.
First, I was kind of like leaning towards a true bill, but after seeing, when the guy stopped and was, like he was going to throw the rock at him that first time, and seeing that stance, it's a no bill.
With no bill. If you guys had first looked when he first stood up on the rocks, like initially we didn't know what he said. First, it's been translated first now. But if you looked at his hand, you could see the rock and he was facing towards the officer. And then at that point is when he decided to start walking away, and then he eventually fled. And then we could see them, him facing the officers when he threw it. So yeah, it was just.
But Land of Illusion, what say you?
Oh boy, I can never be an officer, I'll tell you that. It's a tough one for sure. I think I'm gonna probably go opposite of everybody and say true bill.
Are you just leaning that way, or do you have anything that just stands out for you to bring you to the conclusion?
I don't think that. I mean, I'm leaning that way because I think they could have used a taser. I don't think that they needed to shoot him. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
Moon Goddess says that she didn't see a rock as a deadly weapon, and I'm sorry, it's a freaking rock, but I can bob and weave, and the chances of getting a kill shot with a rock is slim to none, in her opinion. Is that the way you feel as well?
I mean, not a little bit. I don't feel that they. I mean, I don't know what they felt, but I don't think that it was I don't think that it was as imminent danger to them as what they did to him.
Well, let me ask you this. You're standing there talking to your peeps outside the restaurant, and this same guy comes up with a rock the size of the palm of his hand, and he rears back like he's going to throw it at you. Would that give you a pause for fear for yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. But a cop, he shouldn't have that fear.
Well, I think they could have used the taser.
Okay. We are down to vote time. Going back to you first, Iron Patriot. Truth, true bill or no bill?
I'm going to stick with my initial vote.
And that's a no bill, correct?
Yes.
Very good. Sippy Cup, true bill or no bill?
Go with no bill.
I love the way you look up at your mute every time I call on you, man. That's awesome. Lone Wolf, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Derek, Sarah, true bill or no bill?
There is still a chance of being killed with a rock, so my answer is no bill.
We're clean sweep on no bill so far. Southern, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Land of Illusion. Where did you land on this one? True bill or no bill?
True bill.
One true bill. Derek, true bill or no bill?
That'll be a no bill.
Big Ron, post that verdict.
Can you hear me?
We got you, sir. Yes, sir. No bill on this one as well. Okay, there is the famous Rock case. And by the way, was that not a rock star jury that we've had? That we had for that case? I want to say in general, we have great juries, but we had Sarah Fields, Sippy Cup, Iron Patriot, Land of Illusion. We had 7 on there. FFA Family and Derek. That was a hell of a jury we had that week. The only time we've ever done 7 was that case. But the jury pretty much stayed in there. I think pretty much right. Land of Illusion, we talked about the taser, and there was a part of that discussion that I didn't leave in there, was that the officers did attempt to use the taser, and then the guy went back with a rock real fast. He put his taser up and went to the gun. But it was Moon, which is a longtime watcher of the show, folks. She's a big supporter of the show, matter of fact. She was over the moon about a rock wasn't a weapon, but I think our jury believed they did. But Bruce, any other parts of that that's made you want to bring that video to our review show? Besides, a rock's not a weapon.
No, that was the main point, and I agree that was one of our best juries. There were a couple others that were on par with it, but that was definitely top tier jury. But it was the whole debate you saw in their statements. They all said, "Oh, I started off as being true bill," and so they all had that in their mind that this was not a good shoot. And then the more they replayed it, the more they debated it, the more they came to the conclusion, well, actually, yes, this was justified, and it really was a great debate and a great case.
Yeah, I thought it was. You guys want to talk about some of the great jurors that we've had? I mean, if you haven't followed the show, let me tell you some history. We've even had Judge Joe Brown on our show as a guest prosecutor. We've had Shell. You guys on X, everybody knows Shell. She's the hardest working lady on X. But we've had some good size accounts and some really great jurors that come in and spend the time with us on a Friday night. And that really means a lot to us. If we don't say it enough to you guys that are listening out there, your jurors, and really, I don't care if you got 2 followers, if you got 1 million followers. That's not really what we're looking for. We look for that participation that's on that jury. Some examples we've given you here tonight. A good, genuine debate and discussion during the deliberations to come up with some sort of conclusion. But Jason, anything you want to say on the rock's not a deadly weapon?
I actually like the discussion they had. I think they kind of came to a conclusion. They got it right. But it's again interesting to hear people's opinions. For me, that's what I like about the show is, what do you think? And then letting them work through it. That's why I think it's important.
Let's talk about that work through process. How many times do you guys disagree wholeheartedly with the jury's decision? I know it's happened. There's a couple that I've disagreed with wholeheartedly, but what about you guys? Does it happen often, or does the jury usually side where you thought they should in most cases?
I'd say 7, 8 out of 10. They 8 out of 10 they get it right. 9 out of 10 they get it right. It's a higher percentage they're going to work through it and get it right.
It's higher than you would think, right? Especially as a police officer. I think most people would think police officers would disagree how civilians, I say civilians, you guys, you're not civilians, you're citizens. Cops are civilians as well. We're not in the military. But I think a lot of people would be surprised that we as police officers agree with how the citizens decide in these cases. And I agree. I'm 8, 9 too. I'm probably 9 out of 10. I agree with most of them. But what about you, Big Ron? Do you sit and listen to these cases in the deliberations? Do you have are you commonly disagreeing with the jury?
I think I agree with both of you, and again, it's because I've been doing this show for so long with you guys, and I'm on the same wavelength when it comes to thinking. I'd say it's probably 7 out of 8. I think the best part of it is watching them get there, because sometimes they don't take the shortest route. It's like watching them chase their tail for 45 minutes, and then they all get to the same thing. It's quite comical, and it doesn't seem to matter, like you were saying before, on the stature of the person we have on the show. We've had some phenomenal people. Judge Joe Brown. If you guys have never had a chance to watch that episode, I greatly think you should go watch it. That man is phenomenal, just like he is on TV. Super laid back though, great guy. I definitely suggest watching the episode. But Sarah Fields was on. She's a phenomenal person to talk to. All these people that have these huge accounts, when you talk to them, they're super laid back and just down to earth people. But some of the people we've had on to watch them get to this point to where they're all agreeing is just great. You need to go back and watch the other 49 episodes that we've got on there, even farther back. We've got some great episodes. But yeah, I agree. 7 to 8, I don't exactly agree with them when they get to the end. I would have done it differently. But I think the best part is watching them get to that point.
I think that's the magic of the show is watching them, as Jason says, work it out, because you can literally see them working it out. You can hear them working it out. But what about you, Bruce? Any comments on how often you agree with the jury or disagree?
I would say you guys nailed it on the how often they're right. It does still give me pause though, because according to our own statistics, that means that 2 out of 10 or 1 out of 10, that's 10 to 20% of all jury convictions are wrongfully convicted. It's a little scary. I hope they run it.
Hang on. You assume that our opinions are correct.
Well, it's the jury's your peers. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
no, but you guys are right, and I do think they do by and large come to the correct opinion or correct conclusion, I should say.
Sorry, I was reading some comments, boy. The comments are going good, you guys out there. We appreciate those going. I do want to say something. If not, our back-end manager is going to call me or send me an angry text message before this shows up. Folks, we're really close on YouTube, getting to the tier where we can do super chats and honestly generate a little bit of some money doing this to help cover some of the costs. And we're extremely close. I think 160-ish new subscribers, and I need you guys that are currently subscribers. I need you to watch videos all the way through. 1 a day for the next week would be a great favor to us, and it would really boost us in the algorithm. We're picking up steam. We've got the channel organized better than it ever has been organized, and we're finding some favor in the algorithm there on YouTube right now, and we'd like to try to keep that up. You guys are great supporters of the show. It's even more amazing tonight, and I think everybody on the stage will agree with me. I'm watching the comments, and I'm pulling up episodes 50 episodes ago, and I see comments. I remember that one, and people remember the details of it. You guys are phenomenal. If you just help us get it a little bit further down the road there with YouTube, give me a subscribe. Bring a friend to subscribe to, please, and watch for the next week or so. Everybody just watch one. Turn it on, turn your volume down, and put it down on the coffee table and go about what you're doing. I think the longest video are like 40 minutes. I'm not asking you to rewatch the 2-hour episodes. We're breaking them down into case by case. But there's some that are anywhere from 15 minutes to 40 minutes. If you just watch one a day, it really helps us out in the algorithm, because YouTube kind of looks at it. If your subscribers don't watch your content all the way through, why would anybody else, right? So let's prove them wrong, that our content's worth watching. If you guys could help us out with that with the next week, we'll be good. And that should save me a text to explain why I forgot to do that during the show. Did I do good, Big Ron?
Yeah, you did really good, Joe, there.
Because I know you were thinking about that too.
And if you guys haven't been to the channel yet, please take the time to explore. I have to agree with Joe. Our channel is organized better than it's ever been before. There's some surprises on there too. Dig into some of our older episodes. You guys ever seen smoked cheesecake? There's a whole bunch of episodes about that on there. And for those of you that are watching on your phone, we are running Mars now, so you can, if you're not seeing this in a cell phone format, back out and come back in. It'll give you that option, and you can watch it in the cell phone format if that's what you guys want to do. So don't forget that we can do that now too. We've done a lot of upgrades on the channel. Joe's doing a great job, so make sure you guys are all taking advantage of that.
Your smoked cheesesteak was not the best smoking show, by the way.
No one said anything about cheesesteak. It was cheesecake.
It was cheesecake, Jason.
Oh, cheesecake. Either way, it was not.
And
the
Jason
best
wants
show.
to try to push his Texas chili, which was good. Nobody's taking away from it, but the smoked cheesecake was innovative. More innovative than smoked Texas chili, Jason.
I did smoke spaghetti.
I haven't done the smoked spaghetti yet, but I will tell you, when we went fishing, Jason did bring some of his smoked chili. It was better than mine. I will admit it. It was better than mine.
It was good chili, but the show was definitely the smoked cheesecake show was definitely better than Jason's chili show.
Shut up, Bruce.
It was innovative, man. It was look, there was suspense and drama involved, right? The first one didn't work. It tastes like shit. But Ron persevered. The first three didn't work, but he didn't give up. He kept pushing. He tweaked it. He found a way, and he smoked cheesecake that was delicious. Delicious.
It was phenomenal. You guys got to watch that episode. And I have to give a big hand out to my wife. She's the one that really helped me with that. Getting the cheesecake ready and the pans and the crust, and getting it onto the smoker. So that thing came out really good. A cheesecake with a slight bit of cherry wood smoke to it with a graham cracker bacon crumble crust was phenomenal.
Now, after Big Ron said all that, I've been informed by our media manager that anything that's not grand jury is going to be put into archive. You can still find it, but you're gonna have to dig for it. Anybody that wants a direct link to it, let us know. We'll get you. We did a series for a while called The Smoke Show. Jason, I, Big Ron, Bruce, and there was a couple other folks even. They would prepare some sort of a smoked dish and record it, take pictures of it. I'd put it together, and then we'd run a show and kind of reveal the recipe in the show. Something we may do again in the future, but it takes quite a bit. I'll be honest, you guys, right now, putting this show together is taking up all my time, and we're putting maximum effort into it.
Shelly,
get down the road.
Shelly, there's no beans in chili. Stop that crap.
Remove Grandma Kate and Shell. Strike them as persona non grata to the grand jury for this bean comment. They're just trying to mess with me. Their next one's going to be something about either watermelon or potato salad. It's starting to get personal, Shell. I'm starting to feel that way.
Well, this is the grand jury, so let's get back to the grand jury and talk about Jason's bedazzled tasers here, and we'll go from there.
I tell you what, before we go any further, let's run all of our promos. Let's give everybody some credit. We have small content creators, folks, we support here. You guys watch the show. You've seen these before. And we can't stress enough that subscribe and follow that we're asking for. These guys need that as well. And they put out some great content. Let's run our little smorgasbord there, Big Ron. You ready?
Oh, boy, the smorgasbord. Good old Steve. He still hasn't told me about that hamburger yet.
Nobody knows where it's at, the hamburger.
Have you ever wondered to yourself, man, what time does the store close? Or where's the best cheeseburger near me? Well, I'm not going to answer those questions. That's what your damn phone is for. Use that. Instead, if you have stuff related, to the 2A world, I'm your man. My name's Steve. I run the Range Minded Podcast. On the podcast, we talk about all things Second Amendment, whether it be new guns or gear. Maybe we talk about some training. We'll dig into Washington and the shenanigans they get up to. Sometimes we talk about the Supreme Court and the crap that they're doing. It's always a good time, a little smorgasbord of the 2A, if you don't mind me using that narrative. Either way, you can find us whether on YouTube or Rumble, Range Minded Podcast. I'm also on all sorts of streaming services, wherever you listen to your podcast, Range Minded Podcast. You can jump on the website, rangemindedpodcast.com. Maybe stop by, buy a patch and some other things. There you can link to the social medias and all that other stuff. Hope to see you there. It's always a good time. Anyways, you guys have fun, stay safe, and always stay range-minded. See you guys soon.
They frame me in a picture, Sharpie horns on my head, every rumor like a scripture, they repeat what they were fed. Yeah, I'm walking through the whisper, let them burn me in their tails. I keep receipts in my ribcage, every scar, every DD. Call me the villain, paint me in black, blame every crack in your heart on my back. But when the curtains falling and every mask is gone, you'll see the villain was the hero all along. Yeah, I'm the villain. I'm the hero all along.
I'll barely fix. I'll be a baby. I'll barely fix. I'll barely fix. I'll be a baby. I want my daily fix. I'll barely fix. The daily fix. Static in the wire, power in the vein, plugging in the jack just to numb the brain. 0-1. Texas bitch, hear the crowd commit. Texas bitch, get off your ass. Texas bitch, or get hit. Texas bitch, raise your fist. Texas bitch, welcome to the pit. Texas bitch, get in the pit.
And those are some of our small content creators that we promote. If you guys haven't watched the Rage Minded podcast, I definitely suggest doing that. He's got some great merch, all kinds of great videos, anything you need to know about 2A, any kind of the laws that are coming through, new guns that are coming out, anything like that. Steve's your guy. He'll even tell you about a hamburger I'm still waiting on. Red Hill Podcast. Joe, I'll let you talk about the Red Hill Podcast. You've been on that show a couple of times.
Yeah, the Red Hill Podcast is Corey Brooks on X. He's got a long form discussion podcast. Takes on typically individual freedom type of things. We talked about the recent Supreme Court decisions this last Thursday, but it's every Thursday, 8:30. Runs it for 2 hours, so 8:30 to 10:30 Central Time, or 9:30 to 11:30 Eastern Time. But it's great. It's good discussion. He even has the ability to call in, so it's interactive with the audience. It's something that we really enjoy. So we're absolutely promoting that. And that's Thursdays, folks, the Radio Podcast. With that, we're going to talk about 3D response, Jason. We're going to do that towards the end because I want to give you a little latitude on that to tell folks a little bit more about that. Now, what do we got here? We've got, we've talked a lot of times about, you hear this a lot on the grand jury, wouldn't necessarily talk about it, but you've heard this a lot on the grand jury that law enforcement officers can't use deadly force to apprehend you, right? Like, hey, he's running too fast, so I'm going to shoot him. You can't do that. You can only use deadly force to defend yourself, defense of a third person, against serious bodily injury or death, which you believe to be, a reasonable person would believe to be. So every now and then we'll have these cases where you see a vehicle shooting into a car, and these are difficult because the car can be moving fast. Things can be one way in 1 second. The next second, it can be something different. And you'll see, Jason, you've heard Jason and I talk about it. There's a delay from I see this, I need to act. I pull a firearm and I've shot. And when I've shot, the situation has actually changed, right? Because it's changing very rapidly. This is another example of this. And this is also one where the jury struggled. And I say that juries will struggle with cases like this. But here's a good example.
Video may be disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is encouraged.
Hello, I'm Acting El Centro Deputy Chief of Police Renee McNish. At approximately 6:30 p.m. on October 5th, officers from the El Centro Police Department responded after an automated license plate reader identified a stolen Hyundai Elantra traveling through the city. Patrol officers coordinated a search and located the vehicle in the rear parking lot of a restaurant in the 400 block of East Main Street. As you can see from the patrol unit's in-car camera, officers set up a perimeter around the parking lot and then moved to engage the vehicle. Here's the video from one of the body-worn cameras showing the encounter.
Back up, go other way. No, just leave the car here. Leave the car here. Get out, go! Watch out, watch out! Back up, go other way. No, just leave the car here. Leave the car here. Get out of the fucking car! Yeah! Watch out, watch out!
Okay, we're going to right into the deliberations. You guys have seen the video. You see that officer shot the driver. He was in a stolen car. He shot the driver as he operated the motor vehicle. See what the jury says.
I was just thinking about that. I'm kind of on the fence, but I think if I use the same logic I applied to the last case where, you know, the guy's having to do what he thinks is best to protect this person from getting out, I'd have to do no bill.
So you think the officers used deadly force to prevent this guy from leaving?
Yeah, because I was kind of on the fence.
You know, this is a little tough one for me, based on what I could and could not see. You know, I think the officer was reacting to the fact that he was looking like he was going to take off and run into his fellow officers. I don't know how well they barricaded that entrance. I think they probably could have done a little bit better job, but I don't know. I have to think about this one because I didn't see any weapon. And I know the vehicle can be used as a weapon, but I still got to think about this real quick.
Fair enough. Gigi, which way are you swinging on this?
I'm actually with Buck on this because, like, what if he would have ran over somebody with his car or, I don't know, used the car? I don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
It was a traffic. It was a stolen car. Aren't they supposed to put spikes down or something and pop their tires? Not counter them off like that and unload weapons on them like they're Bonnie and Clyde?
Do you guys think that they shot him to prevent his escape?
I would say to prevent his escape, prevent him from moving in that stolen car any longer.
I think I'm leaning towards Truebill simply because I think that a trial court needs to go into this a lot more. Just because I don't know, I'm kind of leaning that way.
Let me ask you all this. Would you consider if someone ran you over with a car, could you be injured with serious bodily injury, or could that kill you? If someone hits you with a vehicle?
Yeah, for sure. But it looks like he's trying to get away and maybe not necessarily aiming the cars at the officers. I could be wrong there, but
okay. What about the officer that's the second body cam we saw that gets out, who's directly in front of the vehicle, and he has to run and get out of the way? He runs behind the officer. Was that officer's life ever in danger? If that officer said, I was scared he was going to run me over, would you say that's bullshit? Or are you like, I could see that?
I could see that.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a weapon too.
Damn it, Joe! Now you got me all in my head again. Jeez.
Pixel, you seem to be the most squared away. I'm coming to you first. True bill or no bill?
No bill.
One no bill. GG, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
Two no bills. Buckster, true bill or no bill?
No bill.
No bill's going to take it. K. Daly, true bill, no bill.
I'm going to be the difficult one here. True bill.
Yeah, just threw that in there. It's like that's political. Good job, Kay. Good job. I voted no. I tried. Drax, true bill or no bill?
The true bill. Just let them all go home.
That would be an indictment. True bill.
Okay, then no, whatever one they're getting, the no bill. So everybody
Yeah,
go.
it doesn't matter. No bill's going to take it whether you're true bill or not. You could have done like Kay Daly did. That's pure
that means
political.
he
It's
gets to
like,
go
well, I
home.
voted against it. I did my best.
That means no bill. He goes home for Christmas, and the other people get to bury their dead.
Yes, everybody goes home and licks their wounds. There'll be no prosecution. So there it is. Okay, so there is the case of shooting into a car, but you see how the jurors struggled with this. And this one was a difficult one. Do you remember this one, Jason?
Yeah, yes, very much so. That was a great jury.
It was a great jury, but I'm going to give him credit, though. This case was difficult because if you just take it from the first officer's point of view where he's shooting into the driver's side, you're like, that car is no danger to you. He's not in, the car can't hit him, couldn't turn towards him even at that point. He's shooting at it as it travels. But then when you take the first officer that shoots gets out of the passenger side of the patrol car. The driver gets out. When you watch his body worn camera, where the car's kind of coming at him, he steps forward and then out of the way. And then it's about this time that his partner is shooting into the car. He steps around his partner and actually puts, I think, one round into the car itself. But then there's a third officer that's hard to see. That third officer is standing in front of the path of the car. The car is going near that officer. And that's what it took for them to get to, they believe it to be reasonable in fear of a third person. But you really had to view that video as this is all happening at once. It's not chronological as the videos are playing, right? So as the one officer is getting out, the other officer is getting out. This is happening at the same time. But I don't know that some of our juror panels wouldn't have been able to wrap their minds around that and come up with that decision. And by the way, I agree with their decision on this one. Did you, Jason?
Yeah, I did. I will tell you that the problem with watching videos for the jurors is not boots on the ground. You're not there. You don't get it. The other part of it, too, is they just look at the fear of great bodily harm or death to those involved in it. They don't look at the public safety factor to it. So there's another angle to that if this person gets away based upon what he just did, is he a threat to the public safety? So that's another third person that a lot of times they don't take in consideration.
It would give an officer the authority to use deadly force in a situation like that, if a reasonable person would believe that's the outcome. You guys have heard me say this before. Justifiable homicide or justifiable use of force is one of the most difficult things we ask our justice system to consider, because it's the only thing in the law we're asking you to take an abstract view of, right? Anything else like stolen TV, here's evidence of stolen, okay, stolen TV. I can see that. That makes sense to me. It's not hard to make a decision on that. But we don't ask that of jurors in almost any other type of case except for these type of cases. Is it reasonable? And it's not whether you think it's reasonable. It's this abstract philosophy. Is it reasonable? So I think some juries struggle with that. But I think for the most part, I think our juries do a great job with that. And I did not disagree with this one. There was some. There have been some with cars in particular that I have disagreed with the jury on, but I see, and you guys can chime in on this as well. I see how they get to where they're at. I just think the needle should have gone the other way on some cases that I agree with. So when I disagree with him, it's not always as strong as you'd think. But what about you guys on that? I mean, are you close on? When you disagree with the jury, do you understand?
I try to understand
their point is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I try to understand how they get to their point. But again, I've been doing this for so long with you guys. I think like you do. So I have a hard time thinking at it from their point of view sometimes. They always want to seem to go I guess the softer route, and in some cases that route's just not there. But like you've said in a lot of shows where we've seen police officers get in the car with the suspect and he drives off, the first word out of your mouth is, and the first word out of Jason's mouth is, "Why did you get in the car? Let the car go." And as Jason says, you've got nothing but time. You're not going to outrun Motorola. You're not going to outrun the helicopter. Let it go. And we've seen that multiple times with that happen. So I have a hard time sometimes seeing how the jury gets to their points. But with the car stuff, those incidents, I think we've had 4 or 5 shows where we've had people get into the car and they get taken. And like you said, you ain't getting dragged. And like Jason says, just let the car go.
Yeah, you know what? We've had a lot more than I think we should have in the last 2 years. I can think of 4 off the top of my head, and each time it's like, what are you doing? Just any rookies out there, new law enforcement, you're on a traffic stop, a car is going to run from you. Do not grab a hold of it. Let it go. Don't get in it. Let it go. A vehicle pursuit is a lot more fun than you riding on the hood or hanging out the door in the back seat while some crook's driving you down the street. I promise you, it's more fun to chase them than to take the ride with them. So yeah, that does blow my mind when that happens. But this case, guys, I lost my train of thought. Oh no, this case was, I think, a good example of how a jury struggles with something that's an abstract and difficult decision, as this one was. That even though in reality none of those officers were probably in danger, Kay's intention, she's probably more likely than right in the after fact. You look at it, the guy was probably just trying to figure out a way to get out of the parking lot. He wasn't looking to injure an officer, but it's reasonable to believe the officers believed that he was. And I think this is a good example of how a jury struggles with it. And they may not even like the decision. You know, none of those guys were smiling when they gave that decision, but in my opinion, they still come up with the right one. Now, how many times has the 21-foot rule come up, or how many times have we had a jury that struggles when an officer uses a gun against someone armed with an edged weapon or a knife? Anybody want to give some comments on that?
Weekly.
Very frequently, right? There was one case in our history that we've done, I think, illustrates this perfectly. And Jason, do you want to? You know what? Let's do it afterward. No, we didn't do this ahead of time. Do you want to explain the edged weapons in the 21-foot rule?
So it's been proven in court. There's actually statute law on it that if somebody has an edged weapon within 21 feet of you, they can close that distance faster than you can pull your gun and take care of the threat, and you will be stabbed. And that's the 21-foot rule. That's deadly force. So, in a nutshell,
that's it. Now, this case, I'm going to warn everyone. Now, you guys that are normal watchers, you know, some cases are a little rougher to watch than others. This is probably the most difficult case that I've watched on here, and I think Jason will agree with me. So be prepared. This one's it's going to end in a way that's you're going to struggle with it. Now, our jury is going to, well, on this one, guys, we don't have a jury on this one. And the jury had no issues with it. Am I right or wrong? I may be wrong. Hang on. I don't remember if I got the entire of this. Let's play this video. All right, you've got a security camera at a vacant lot. You see an officer now walking up. You've had a call of a trespasser on this lot. The officer is responding to the call. The first bit of this is not going to have any sound. You're going to see closed circuit television recording of the event. It'll change over the camera view in a second. The person that just stood up is the person, the suspect in this case, the person that the owner called in on, a friend of the owner called in on, that's trespassing. Now, it's not clear here, but I pointed out the top left of the videos, the shadow you see was an observer that watched in fact, the original caller saying that there was a trespasser there was sitting in his car on the street watching. He saw the officer get attacked. He is a concealed carry gun owner. I'm going to pause it there. Concealed carry gun owner. He intervenes and stops the assault on the police officer and kills the assailant.
Central 97. How's it going, boss? You been staying here for a while? What's up? Is this your place? So you're the one who called? You're the one who called?
I can call.
Huh?
I can call this lady.
Oh, fuck! Oh, shit!
The fuck out of here. The fuck are you? Huh? Fucking not even real, huh? You're not even real. Fuck you. Want to go down too, bitch? What? Fucking drop it!
Okay, and we don't have jury deliberation on that one, and I don't know that we need to. But anyone that wants to say that an edged weapon is not deadly within 21 feet, watch that video. How fast did this officer's body armor not help him? The gun help him? All the other things he has on his duty belt, none of that was able to help him in the half a second that this guy closed the distance and started planting knives into his neck and collarbone. That officer died. And we literally just watched that happen over his body-worn camera. I want to explain what was obscuring the view there. I think we all know and we could hear. But I think this is the best example that you can find that an edged weapon should be treated like a gun anywhere inside of 21 feet because it can kill you just as quick and honestly probably more painful. But you want to expound on that, Jason, or are you guys going to let me do all the talking tonight? Because y'all sure being quiet, just saying.
Well, you were talking, so I didn't want to interrupt you. Settle down. No, there's another one too where we played where there was a domestic assault and the guy came to the front door and closed that gap so quick that the officer ended up getting stabbed, and that was over 21 feet. But yeah, you do not fuck with edge weapons. And what people don't realize, and you and I have both said this in the shows, is every time you go to a call, there's a gun there, and it's yours. The last thing I want to do is get knocked in the head with a rock, get stabbed by something, and lose my gun, and give it to the guy that I'm there to arrest or see what's going out. And in this case that we just watched, he's just walking up on a trespass notice. He has no other information other than that. and it happened so damn quick. There's no way he could have backpedaled. There's no way. I mean, he is at a loss right there. And I can't tell you how many police interactions happen in a day in the United States, but that potential is there every single interaction. So you just don't know. So it's a great job. It's not an easy job. And a lot of these young cops haven't experienced enough yet to understand that shit can go bad really, really quick.
In my experience, every time it goes bad quick, you know? Yeah, I mean, if you know something's about to happen, you'll do something to prevent it. But the bad stuff, man, it's like everything's cool, and then all of a sudden everything is not, and it's not cool at all. But this one, there was another one out of Arizona. And guys, these are videos. I see some people asking what episode it is. We didn't even have episode numbers back then. This is when we had the original format of law enforcement officers, legal minds, and citizens on a panel is when we did this one. So this one goes back some time. But and I'm sure I can make some cuts on it and put it on YouTube for you guys that are subscribers. You guys can take a look. I'll show you the whole thing and even the discussion afterwards. But it's a different format. But there was another one in Arizona, and I don't remember what episode it was, but a guy pulls up, he calls 911 from the parking lot. He says that I've got a 7-year-old girl in the car with me and a knife. Somebody needs to come out here before I kill her. So an officer responds, he has to come from patrol, right? A lot of people think cops are in the police station, especially at night. They know cops in there. They're all out on patrol. So a cop comes to the police station to meet this person, and he travels 2 car lengths in less than half a second and is on top of the officer. The officer only had enough time to pull his gun and couldn't get out stopped before he had to shoot him. And he shoots him just inches away from the end of his barrel with his arms extended. So the 21-foot rule is a real thing. And we see many times where people have a problem in their heart when a police officer uses a gun against an edged weapon as if the edged weapon is slightly less deadly. I think this is a good example to show that it's not. It's just as deadly as a firearm. In fact, more people are killed with knives every year than they are guns, for you gun-grabbing folks out there. But with that, guys, that's all the videos that are the cases that I had tonight to discuss. Do you guys want to do a little round robin and discuss something, or to talk about some 3D response? We've got about 12 minutes.
Before we get to Jason's 3D response, our back-end media manager has alerted me that we've picked up some new subscribers, so we'd like to thank them for that.
Yes. Yay. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Keep the subscriptions coming, guys. It's only going to help us out, make the show grow, make things better.
Joe can get a better camera. We get this up and moving. Joe can get a better camera. And maybe a makeup guy. Maybe I need that, or chick. That would be more fitting for me, a makeup chick.
Well, you've got somebody who can do your makeup.
Yeah, that wouldn't be as much fun, though, but yeah. But,
you want to run that 3D response video? We'll talk about some 3D response, Joe.
Let's do it. Run that 3D response video.
Care about the safety of children and their lives, right? Well, listen to this. In 1958, 92 children and 3 teaching nuns died in a fire at Our Lady of the Angels School in Chicago. It led to a nationwide reform of fire safety in schools. Since then, not one child has died from a school fire. The same principle should be applied today. The issue of school shooters is still a problem.
A gunman shooting down at these students.
As, of course, we now learn about even more school shootings.
And our Brittany Ehrman found they aren't building schools like they used to for this very reason.
The definition of school safety in today's day and age previously had not yet been defined.
With Minnesota-based 3D response systems.
One of the pushbacks we hear is we don't want our schools to look like a prison. In reality, our system is completely hidden so you don't lose that learning environment feel.
3D Response Systems is a multi-layered design to get the police there faster and provide tools for the people inside to survive.
I went there as a skeptic. I'm not a skeptic any longer.
Why isn't this in every school?
Because the loss of even one child's life is one too many.
Well, let's get this word out and make sure that we support folks like Representative Hudson and a 3D response system. And wherever you are, whatever state you're in, go talk to your school board, go talk to your state representative. Tell them about this.
For information, or if you would just like to help, download our info sheet PDF located under the Systems
The
tab.
3D response systems design will provide safe spaces and a rapid response from first responders.
We should install in every school, public and private.
There you go, folks. The 3D response system, and those you don't know, that system was developed by our very own Jason with 3D response systems down there. Jason, I know this fight's been going on a long time. You want to give an update of where the fight's at, or what anybody might do that's new to the system, new to the knowledge of knowing about that, what they can do to help you get this into every kid's school?
Yeah, I'm going to be really blunt here for 2 seconds. John Cox is a representative for 3D Response in North Carolina. John Cox was sending messages on Facebook to his local school community. John got pushback from the school saying, stop trying to pressure us. That's the problem. I was actually sent a letter from the school district to tell John to stay off this. He's making your company look bad. Well, that same school district just put out their new safety rules. Their new safety rules is no more steel cups in schools because these steel cups are being tossed and they're hurting kids. Okay, so you want to eliminate coffee cups. That's your answer. The other side to this is you have organizations like Moms Demand Action, and you have people that they just don't care. There's seriously people that don't care. And the only time the general public cares about this is after there's dead children. And I've been pushing for actual resources and a response to the people involved, which is the teachers, the children, and the kids, to keep them safe. And it's a hurdle. And I've said this before, but until people actually educate themselves on what are we doing wrong, we're not going to fix this problem. And in the video, you saw the fire code. The fire code actually solved the leading cause of death to children in our schools for 60 years. It solved it. I just don't, it's frustrating to me that why is keeping our children alive political? Why don't school leaders want to be challenged on what they're doing? It's very frustrating to me, and that's been my battle for 10 years, to be honest with you guys. So I'm being blunt about it. You asked the challenge, and that's the challenge. Is I don't know if they want to fix it.
You've had some wins. You've had some wins too, though, right?
Yes, we've had wins.
It seems like private schools have a more sensible ear when it comes to keeping our kids safe.
Yeah, we're installed in I think 20 public schools, and we have installs in 1 private schools with 4 contracts in the works right now. The problem with the private schools was it took Annunciation to actually wake the private schools up. So at some point we got to get in front of this and stop waiting for dead kids and then try to fix it afterwards. That's the frustration.
So if people want to know more about this, they can go to your website, the 3dresponse.com.
Yeah. There's a printable PDF on there you can print out and give to your school board, your state legislator. I'm in the works, actually, hopefully flying out to North Carolina to meet with Senator Lee on this topic. And we need a voice to actually say enough is enough. Enough of this bullshit gun control, enough of this bullshit artificial intelligence crap. It's been tried and tried and tried, and the problem's still there. So
no,
we're the only tactical response out there, period.
I think you're the only one comprehensive as well. You have the tactical, you have everything covered. You have tactical cover. You got before care or prevention and after care, and even during response time. It's an ingenious system. And folks, if you don't know about it, take some time. Go to 3D Response. It's got plenty of videos and information there. And you know what? If you still don't understand, you still have questions, find Jason on X. It's 3D Responses with an extra S on X, and shoot him a DM. Find him in his space. He's commenting there. He's got no problem telling you about it and what you can do to help further the cause and getting it out there. I believe there will be a day very soon that our legislators will catch up with it, and they'll add a system like Jason's as a building code, just like they did with the fire code. Once we did that, nobody dies in fires. Once we do this, our casualties in schools will go down significantly, if not to zero. But it's super important. There is no other way to fix it. Everything else you hear about, Jason's right, gun control, mental health. Yeah, tell me when mental health's done anything other than say there's a problem. They're great at pointing out shit, but they've never healed anyone, right? Nobody's ever been cured of a mental illness. They just tell you how long they have to, what pills they have to take. My point is that this is the answer to it. If something that you're passionate about, 3D Response is something you need to get hooked up with and figure out what you can do to push that down the road. With that, guys, we are getting close to the end of the show. So I want to give, let's start with Bruce Wayne, the kid under the stairs. Anything you want to say to close out? Anything you want to say about 51 episodes, we'll say. Today is the 52nd, but it's not a real episode. 51 episodes. Anything you want to say about that, Bruce?
No, it's a great landmark. Fantastic show. We're going to go for another 380 at least. And that's a promise. So actually I can't promise that, but no, great landmark, been a great show. It's just going to keep getting better. Everyone just hang in there with us, and here's for the ride. And hope everyone gets out there, barbecues a lot, does some fireworks, enjoy the 250th birthday of this great country.
Very good. I'm glad you finished with that. Jason, any closing remarks?
I'm just excited to finally enjoy a 4th of July without being in uniform.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
It's going to be good.
That's going to be a good time. What about you, Big Ron?
You know, I'd just like to thank everybody that's out there watching the show. I never thought the words would come out of my mouth, but I'd like to thank all of our fans that show up every week to watch this show, that help promote it. I really thought those words would never, ever come out of my mouth. I really do appreciate it. Joe appreciates it. I know Jason and Bruce do. Thank you guys for showing up. Enjoy your 4th of July. Remember, tomorrow morning, somebody's going to wake up for the last time with all 10 fingers. Make sure you're one of those people that does wake up with all 10 fingers. And on Jason's side, I've seen 3D Response. Those of you that don't know me, my wife's a teacher. I've seen what they have in her school. His system is phenomenal. Until you've laid eyes on it, or better yet, not laid eyes on it, because the system is damn near invisible. It needs to be in every school. And I saw somebody in the chat make a comment, it needs to be other places. I agree. Banks, hospitals, office buildings. This system is phenomenal. But with that being said, here's to 51 more episodes. Joe, the show is yours. Close it out, buddy.
I'm with Big Ron. I never thought I would say it either, but I'm super thankful for you, loyal. I call you guys just loyal, but if fans works, well, I'll take that as well. But you guys are there. I see your numbers. You're here every Friday, and you're steadfast and loyal. That means a ton to us, and it's the reason why we do it. And we're putting more effort into it. We're upping our game. We're going to be more professional. Our outlets on channels are going to get better. If you folks in Patreon, I promise you guys are the most patient folks out there. I've got some stuff planned for you. I'm going to make it up to you, because without your support financially, this show would be a burden. In fact, you can see it running at the bottom. Tips are appreciated. I hate passing the hat, but there is a cost to do this, between subscriptions and other costs and equipment costs that we cover to do it. And we do it out because we love it. But if it's in your heart, it would be very helpful this time, or this time of the month. Actually, anytime would be very helpful. It's always due. With that, happy birthday, United States of America, the greatest nation this earth has ever seen. It's a miracle that we were all born here. We all won the lottery to be born in the United States of America. We live in a time that is It's never been easier to be a human being, and no other place on earth has it been better to be a human being. Our most impoverished are still better than the wealthy for about 90% of the world. So don't forget that. Pop fireworks, Thomas Jefferson said, illuminate the skies to show the world our celebration for this time period. So do that, but do keep your fingers in your toes. Be safe with it, and eat lots of good food. Enjoy your July 4th, and happy birthday, United States of America, 250 years.
An incarcerated individual's use of institutional telephones constitutes consent, and your calls may be provided to law enforcement agencies.
Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.